The library looks a little bit disheveled because the floors were waxed today, so stuff was moved in here that's not normally in here. And then the fire marshal came, so anything that was up on the top bookshelves or cabinetry was taken down. And that's because this room has no sprinklers, which means everything in this room has to be 24 inches away from the ceiling. Thus, nothing can be on top of the cabinets or bookshelves. So this is where I was posting the winners for awards. I'll say something about that later. TV, teacher supplies. This is a teacher's desk that basically is on its last leg, literally. So it became my desk to sit at and do checkout because they couldn't use it for a student desk anymore because it kept wobbling and I was scared it was going to break altogether. Then the window, these are the containers that the teachers get. So you just give them a container. Some of these are like old, like this was my updated, what they looked like. They desperately need to be wiped out. But basically, it's the teacher's container all year long. It goes outside of their door when you're done with it. But the class puts all of their books throughout the week in it. And then I usually did it either 1 or 2 days out of the week or the day of library. I'd pull all of their books out of the container and check them all back into the library. But it kind of just helps keep track of books around here. This is a shelf I was using to just display books that either went with a holiday or a season or maybe a theme I was teaching on that week. This is some of the places that they were sitting. The bulletin board. This is the door that you'll go out of for a fire drill. This cabinetry has some random things in it, but it also has all of these books, and all of these books were either purchased or donated, and they all need to be cataloged. I usually just cataloged a few at a time just to have something new to put out on the new bookshelf that's in the chapter book room. But obviously, you know, do it at your own speed. Old curriculum and random stuff from old librarians. Random stuff, prizes, random stuff. Expo markers are down there. Christmas lights and any lights that are hung from the windows or whatever are now illegal unless they are a battery pack. They cannot be plugged into the wall. All of these books can go into the birthday book vending machine. I just needed some extra space to store. Another table. This is how I was having assigned seats. Each grade or class would have like their own color. So like kindergarten was red. They knew, like Miss Arrington's class knew that their names were in red, so they would sit in that seat. Whereas, you know, this would be Miss Hurto's class. All of theirs were orange. They knew they were sitting in that seat or whatever. I liked having assigned seats just because the kids get a little carried away. This is the 4th table that I used. I just used a foldable table because the other one was in such bad condition. These are on the wall by command hook, so feel free to take them down or change out the pictures. This is your other cabinet for storage. Has a bunch of empty containers and a bunch of just random things and craft supplies. There's craft supplies down there. There's some like random stuff plus empty containers down there. Crayons and whatnot. These I only let the preschoolers use, but I'm going to be teaching pre-K library, so I might be using them. Just some extra crayons. These are just containers with different things. This is reusable tape. This is how all the labels are on all of the containers. Stickers, things for when pre-K and kindergarten would finish their work early. Some stickers for spine labels, cataloging stuff. This is the handy dandy label maker that makes life so much easier. Some generic barcodes, the AR star stickers that you have to put on the spine cover so the kids know what AR level it is. Just like a hodgepodge of things. I was really into doing my lesson and then letting the kids check out books, and after they were done checking out books, or while they were waiting on books, really depending on the class and what kind of behavior they had, they would do centers. So there's Light Brights, these little like drawing pads, puzzles, and a couple of like little sensory things. There are so many sensory things on Amazon. I practically bought every one known to man. They all were demolished within the year that they were bought. So I don't really recommend those. This is reference books, nonfiction stuff as far as series, then like dictionaries, thesauruses. History stuff is in here. Spanish, space, all sorts of jazz. Everything is kind of like categorized. Nothing is done as like by a number, like they're not in order by numerical order, just because there's only young kids coming to this library, and when they are looking for a book, they are like, I want to do a book about dinosaurs. Voila, there it is. So that's how all of this is organized. This is nonfiction too, but this up and all of these are hardcover storybooks, although there are some softcover storybooks in there as well. There's lots of containers with these labels, and it's just helping kids find their favorite series or author or whatever. And then this is all either organized by AR level or by a series. I have these Canva templates on my laptop that I'm more than happy to send you. I made them myself, so you can definitely have them. These are organized by color. Then it's just all stacked in here. There were stuffed animals all over the place, but they had to be taken down. These, same thing. So this is by AR. So everything in this container is between a 2.0 and a 2.9 because that's what a blue star is. So I just have organized it like this. That way they're like, okay, my AR level is a 2.3. They know, like, obviously I need to look in a blue star bin, whereas they're not going to find that in an orange star bin. This is something I had thought of at the end of last school year, not fully realizing that I would no longer be the librarian. So this is kind of a unfinished dream that I had. But the preschool teachers love to check out books from the library, which I am more than happy to collect for you because it's kind of time consuming. But I had things like the summer and Black History Month and Valentine's Day because I knew like they wanted these type of books, so I already had them like kind of pre-picked. Then spring, the garden, fruits and vegetables, Christmas and winter, fall and Thanksgiving, first day of school, and emotions. So this same thing. These are just like a Yellow Star book, but they're in these containers because they're all like the same dimensions. So this is a busy little area. This is the birthday board. You'll be in charge of the book vending machine, meaning that every single kid gets a book on their birthday. I didn't actually give them a book on their birthday when it was their actual birthday. I waited until that class period that they saw me for the week of their birthday. Just because if I was chasing down kids every single day, that would be a lot really quick. But I did have little labels that would stay up here the whole entire month. And it would be like Taryn, 8/25. And then I would know the week of 8/25, I need to give her a library book when I see her. Not a library book, a book vending machine book. It just made my life a little bit easier. This is my reward system / library management, class management system. So this is the Caught Being Good jar. Obviously, feel free to nix this entire system, but this is what was going on just in case the kids ask. The Caught Being Good, every single class, I would pick one child that was being very well behaved, being a good listener, being a kind friend, and I would just pick one kid, and they knew I was only picking one, and they'd go in that jar, and at the end of the month, I would draw a name, and then I would email that child's parents and say, congratulations, your child was caught being good for the month of October. They get a book out of the book vending machine, and they get 3 pieces of candy. And then I would just restart the next month. This is for trying to get the kids to turn back in their books, because when I took over this position, I quickly realized the children were not returning their books, and they were just either losing them and never checking out new ones, or they were just being checked out books even though they hadn't returned their previous ones. So I came up with this. So every single class period, they would come during checkout time. I'd be like, okay, you have no overdue books. You can write your name on a little slip of paper. I have the template too. And you can put it in your grade level jar. And then at the end of the month, I select one name for every single grade level. And I just send an email to all 4 child's parents. And I'm like, congratulations, your child won the no overdue book drawing for the month of September. They get a book out of the book vending machine. And then I would restart every single month. But it kind of helped children understand, like, you need to turn in your books. But it did not help in the aspect that kids were busy returning their books so they could fill out a little slip of paper, and they never even read the book that they were checking out. You'll learn very quickly that a lot of these kids are really just checking out books to check out a book. And you will notice that the book that they checked out that same day will be in their class container by that afternoon or the next day. And I was trying to come up with a plan to help solve that problem. And honestly, I haven't come up with it yet. So maybe you'll have like a really brilliant idea to help with that. But that's just what I was doing to help get the kids to return their books, rather than kind of like lose them and whatnot. Those are the shelf markers. Whiteboard for teaching or whatever you might want to use it for. This is the chapter book room. This light up here takes either really long to turn on or it doesn't turn on at all. This is when I was checking the books back into the library. I was putting them in containers. So I'd be like, okay, I'm going to put all of these books back on the shelves, and I'm just doing the storybooks right now, or I'm just putting all of the nonfiction books back in. And it kind of helped me get things shelved a lot quicker. Also, if a box was looking a little heavy, then I knew I needed to hurry up and get that accomplished. This is all of their artwork they were doing. This was one of like their centers. And I just